International webinar. I see the audio connecting. Recording is in progress. Okay.
Hey everyone, Serge, give it a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
Yep.
We'll give it a couple of minutes and then we'll start. We'll let others join. Thank you so much for joining in the meantime. So I think it's about time. Should we get started?
Give it another minute.
Okay.
Just give it another minute. Everybody's
I
probably
see
coming back from work. Give them
I see
time
a
to.
hand raised. Is it Bose?
We're on 17 at the moment. Just give it a few more. Just give it maybe another minute or so.
Yeah, sure.
Serge, I think you can start, and then whoever is coming in, we can just let them in. So over to you, Serge.
All right, sure. Sounds like the plan. We do have the crowd here. I see still some people, they're connecting audio. So let me just give 30 more seconds for them to connect to the audio. I see 4 people are trying to connect to the audio right now. Okay. All right, we are already past the time, so I'll just get started. Hello and welcome everyone to our webinar, Greenstaff Medical International. I hope you guys are able to see my screen. I'm going to go through a slide, a PPT, basically to introduce each and everyone who we have on the webinar today. We have got some great people, important people for the USCIS immigration and all of the housing benefits, everything. We've got everyone here. So Greenstaff Medical US International, how do you work as a nurse in the US? That's what we do. And I'm going to walk you through the slides now. Okay. So we're going to talk about the International Nursing Employment Program for nurses who are outside of the US or are in the US on a different status, but are not eligible to work, or maybe someone who has got the EAD and looking forward to settle in the US. So you are going to hear from our experts today, working at Greenstaff. You can see Suraj Bhatt, that's me. I'm the team lead. I lead the team for international recruiters who would be helping you out with the entire journey for you to get your green card and start your career in nursing. Then we've got Kim Strubel. She's the housing and benefits manager. She's going to help you out finding a rented apartment, a really cozy one, if you may. And she will also take care of your benefits, which is your dental, medical, vision, and all of that stuff. So that's Kim. And then we have got Mark Del Rosario. He is our in-house attorney who will be taking care of your I-140s, adjustment of status, your employment authorization document, and all of that stuff. And these guys are experts in what they do. So, you know, that's that. Talking about company profile, we are a global staffing company, healthcare staffing agency with a presence in 11 countries and counting. We hire RNs on a temp to perm model. So we hire them on our payroll and then they convert to the core staff. Our services include nursing, allied, travel, local per diem, direct hire, local staffing, and international recruitment. Our travel team was awarded the Gold Seal of Excellence by the Joint Commission, voted Best Nurse Recruitment Agency by CareerCrawlers.com. And here we have some our international recruitment services. Okay, there we go. Who we can assess. So that's one of the frequently asked questions that we've got. So we work with US new grad nurses, nurses who are newly graduated from the US, international nurses who are in the US, graduated from the nursing program in the US. These are nurses with F1 visas. We work with them as well as we work with the US new grad nurses, plus the international nurses all over the globe. Uh, we also work with TN nurses. TN stands for Trade NAFTA agreement that we have that US has with the neighboring countries, which is Canada and Mexico. So these nurses are eligible for a TN visa, which is valid for 3 years, and then it can be renewed. We'll talk about that in length um, in some time. All right, so we talk about benefits now. So benefits of choosing Greenstaff International. There's many, but we could only point out some on this slideshow. So here's some. We've got vacancies in multiple nursing specialties across the US. We've got competitive pay rates, full immigration sponsorship, green card, premium processing, obviously, free accommodation for 30 days post-deployment. We'll be providing you with medical, dental, vision, and life insurance, family/dependents application support, a referral bonus. We've got a referral bonus for $1,000. So you refer a nurse and she starts with Greenstaff. When she completes about 13 weeks with Greenstaff, you will be paid $1,000 referral bonus. So that's for our nurses. Then we've got dedicated recruitment placement officer. We've got reimbursements for required upfront costs such as NCLEX and IELTS, application and support services, relocation assistance, 24/7 on the ground support. We've got paid time off for all of our nurses, continuous education and development, in-house lawyer, legal assistance, to name a few. All right. So as I was talking about the referral bonus, you refer a registered nurse and you earn $1,000 once they start the assignment. Now, a lot of nurses ask, how do I get started? So you must be a licensed registered nurse. You got to take your NCLEX RN. We can still interview you for placement with just your ATT date. F1 new graduates are welcome without experience, and we are currently working with F1 new grads who have got their OPT or who have exhausted their OPTs. We still work with them and adjust their status so that they have their green card and the eligibility to work in the US. If you talk about locations, some of the hot jobs that we've got right now are in New Hampshire, Kentucky, West Virginia, Oklahoma, Wisconsin, Virginia, North Carolina, Vermont, New Mexico, Illinois, Missouri, Louisiana, Michigan, Kansas, Texas, and Florida, to name a few. And we have more adding every now and then. Specialties, if you talk about for international nurses, we offer rehab department, ER, cardiology, labor and delivery, medical surgical or med-surg, nephrology, pediatrics, ICU, endoscopy, psychology. So these are some of the specialties that we offer to our nurses. If we talk about the process timelines, which is the most complex thing at the moment. So for TN nurses who are the citizens of Canada and Mexico, they can their timeline would look like something between 3 to 6 months to be working in the US. Other countries except for China and India, because the wait time is really long. For all the other countries, it would be up to 18 months. We still work with nationals from China and India as long as they have their priority date, which is current. We do not have placements for mainland China or India if they do not have their petition, their I-140 current or their priority date is not current. We cannot work with them because of the long retrogression thing. F1 students will work on their OPTs with us while we file for the EAD, which is the employment authorization document, along with your change of status. Once that is processed, you will continue working till completion of the contract. So the contract would be for 5,600 hours. And regardless of when you receive your green card, every hour you work counts towards your contract hours. You work weekends, overtime, anything that you work at the hospital, everything will be counted towards your 5,600-hour contractual time. We do have our PWDs, which are current. These are some of the good stuff that nurses have to say about Greenstaff and the recruiters and the whole team. I'll give you guys a minute to just go through some of these. We have nurses from pretty much all over the globe. We've got nurses from Nepal, Nigeria. We do have a nurse from Australia. We have nurses from Brazil. We have nurses from Philippines. I see nurses from Canada. I see nurses from, I see a lot of nurses from Philippines. I see nurses from Jordan. Yes, some of the nurses that I can remember the country of origin. So that's that. You can also check out these testimonials, beautiful testimonials on our website. We recently partnered up with Swoosh English to assist our candidates because we work with a lot of international nurses, and they all have to write their English proficiency test in order to be eligible to be filed for their green card petition. So talking about Swoosh, they are a premium provider of the OET, IELTS, and PTE exams with a proven track record of success. You can visit our website and follow the link to sign up for a free masterclass. So that's a great opportunity. You guys might want to just check it out. A lot of our international nurses, they did struggle. But now, as soon as we have partnered up with Swoosh, we see a lot of progress with these nurses. Talking about the housing and travel benefits, I think we do have Kim, who can talk a little bit about on that subject.
Great. Thank you, Serge. Hi, everybody. Good evening or good morning, wherever you are. My name is Kim Struble, and I am the manager of housing, travel, and benefits for Greenstaff Medical. My team is here to assist with accommodations and transportation if it's needed to get you settled in your new and exciting location. So we will reach out to you very early in the onboarding process so that you know who we are in case you have any questions or concerns, because we want everything to go very smoothly and very seamlessly for you. My team provides assistance with temporary accommodations, such as an Airbnb or a hotel upon your initial arrival in the area and getting started at the facility. But we also assist with helping you find more permanent, long-term accommodations as well, such as an apartment or a house in the area. In addition, we also can help with flights, rental cars, or any type of ground transportation that might be needed. And we're here to help you get to know the area that you're traveling to and help you get settled in. So we like to share helpful information about where you're relocating to, such as what's the climate of the area, what are some of the local attractions or fun things to do, but also some of the day-to-day tasks. Where's the local grocery store? Where might I find a church in the area or a school district for my children? Those are things that we can help you find as well. We're here to assist. Secondly, Greenstaff Medical offers benefits such as medical, dental, and vision insurance through United Healthcare, as well as a 401k savings retirement plan. This information is also shared with you during the onboarding process, and the benefits begin on the first of the month following your start date with Greenstaff. So my team and I are always here to help answer any questions, or particularly for the benefits, help you sort through the different options that you have to choose from. We want to make sure that you make the right decision for you and your family. So again, thank you so much for joining us on this webinar, and I look forward to working with you soon.
Thank you, Kim. That was great. Thank you for that insight. I think housing and travel benefits are very important for international nurses because they arrive in the US, and we just want to make sure that they have a very smooth transition to coming to the US. So as soon as you arrive in the US, your flight's landed, we would book your accommodation right then. and we start working on your social security and all of that stuff, your medical and everything. So that's that. Moving on to the next slide, we've got retrogression and the immigration process. So now we have Mark Del Rosario. He's our in-house attorney who would talk a little bit about the, big fuss going around the retrogression. A lot of people have a lot of questions, but he's gonna just give you guys an overview about what that retrogression really means to you guys. Mark, over to you.
All right, thanks, Suraj. Good afternoon, everybody. So I am Mark Del Rosario. I am the in-house immigration attorney for Greenstaff. So I emphasized in-house because this is one thing that Greenstaff has that may not necessarily be present in others, because we have an in-house immigration attorney. So what does that mean? Insofar as uh, processing of papers are concerned, it's a little faster for us. And also, we have a direct, the nurses, the international nurses would have a direct line to an attorney, an immigration attorney for all their concerns. Okay, so um, what does Greenstaff offer for international nurses? Of course, we want you to work in the U.S., and definitely we would ensure that you would be working with the proper authority to work in the U.S. Aside from Canadians and Mexicans who would be entitled to a TN visa, all the rest, all the other nurses from other countries, they would need to come into the US using a different visa. And what would that be? Generally, it's going to be a green card. Unlike other countries where nurses can come in to work under simple working visas, in the US, the nurses are generally allowed to work under the green card only, which is the permanent residence. So green staff, in that case, we sponsor international nurses for green cards. So what's the benefit of a green card? Well, you can stay in the US permanently. You 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 have a path to citizenship, and more importantly, the entire family can come with you. I mean, the immediate family can come with you, and this family members will have work authorization, same as you. So that's the benefit of the green card. Now, the question is, how long will it take for you to be able to? I mean, how long will it take for you to get the green card? It really depends. Prior to the slide says retrogression. I was made to discuss this retrogression, which would definitely take more than 5 minutes. But just to give you this retrogression, prior to this retrogression, and I'll go into that later on. The the length of time to get the green card for the nurses was relatively short. 5 to 8 months. So I was looking at our track record. We were 5 to 8 months. We got the nurses in the US, or those already in the US, we got them green cards within 5 to 8 months. But now with this retrogression, takes maybe 15 to 18 months, but we don't know. It could be longer, it could be shorter, but right now, as we know it, it's going to take 15 to 18 months. So what is this retrogression again? Briefly, the immigration process involves two steps. First is the immigrant visa petition, which we call the I-140 petition, and the second step is the green card process itself, the green card application itself. It depends now on where you are. If you are outside of the US, you do consular processing, which means you go through the US consulate or embassy in your country. On the other hand, if you are in the US, you do what we call adjustment of status. Okay, so retrogression affects this second step. Retrogression determines who moves on in this second step. So even if we do the first step, the second step now depends on this visa availability. So um, retrogression, which is the visa availability, basically tells us when we can move to the next step in your petition. Okay, so how does this work? The Department of State, U.S. Department of State, comes up with visa bulletin. They issue it every month. Um, and in that visa bulletin, they set up a cutoff date. And this cutoff date will determine who would be able to file that application for the second step. And how would you be able to join that group who can file? It depends now on your priority date. That priority date is basically your place in the queue, and it's set by the date when that first step was actually filed. So right now, the status of the visa availability for generally for everyone else, it's like, I mean, the cutoff date is December 1, 2021. So if you would look at it, it would be like 2 years, 1 year and a half. Yeah, almost 1 year and 8 months, 10 months. Okay, that's the cutoff date right now. So which means your I-140 should have been filed earlier than December 1, 2021.
Mark,
There are other, yeah,
sorry
yeah,
to cut you off. Isn't it December 1st, 22?
no, I think it's 2021.
Oh,
2021.
okay.
Yeah. Although there are a lot of other nuances to this visa availability, I'll just give you this basic and the simple explanation to that. Yes, right now for countries other than China and India, it's December 1, 2021. So earlier, if you would look at, if you would remember this, one of the slides, it says about, mentions about people from China and India. The problem with people from India and China, the Department of State has set a much earlier cutoff for them. China, it's January 1st, 2020. For India, it's 2012. So for India, it's like a 11-year wait you to be able to come into the US. But all others, it's right now, as we speak, it's 2021. So this visa availability changes every month. I mean, it's at least the visa bulletin is issued every month. It may not change. It may jump forward. It may jump backwards. But uh, it is what it is. So we just uh, for nurses, we just tell them that, you know what, for you to be able to work in the US earlier, let's do the I-140 immediately, because that's the filing of that I-140 gives you the priority date, which will determine when you can move on to the second step. So anyway, this definitely would entail a lot more discussion, but I'm just giving you an idea of what this retrogression is, and how it relates to the question of how long you can start working in the US. So later on, if you come on board with us, you're free to message your recruiter about your immigration concerns, and we will address we will try to answer your questions. Okay, Suraj. So I get back to you.
Thank you, Mark. That was really great. And that reminds me of those beautiful golden days that we had, like, I guess 6 months ago.
Mhm.
Like, we had nurses who got their green card in like 5 months, right?
Yes.
Those were the crazy times. But then
Mm.
retrogression came in, and it has happened in the past. So I've been told. So yeah, hoping for some more good news in the month of, I guess, December, the new visa
Well,
bulletin. And
well, at least in the coming months. In the coming
yeah,
months,
in the
not
coming
necessarily
months. Yeah,
December.
let's keep it
Coming
to that.
months. Yeah.
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 All right. That was great. Thank you,
Yeah.
Mark,
Okay.
for that lovely insight.
Mhm.
All right, moving on to the next slide. Okay. All right, the best part of the webinar. We've got the questions and answers now. So You guys can drop your questions on the chat, or you can just unmute yourself and ask questions, whichever you guys feel like. And I see a lot of stuff going on in the chat, so I would just like to address once and for all. So we, as an agency, we would love to sponsor you for NCLEX and all of those things that you need to be qualified to work as a nurse in the US. However, we have seen in the past that, sometimes it would take more than one attempt for a lot of nurses to pass the NCLEX. And, we would rather reimburse you for all of those expenses once you are here in the US. So that's what we do. We reimburse you for all these expenses once you are ready to start your assignment, or once you have started the assignment with your first pay, you get the reimbursed for your NCLEX, your IELTS, your medical test that you have done, your uh, housing, all of that stuff will be reimbursed altogether once you're in the US. I hope that helps answer the question. Do we have some other questions other than reimbursements? Uh, because of retrogression, can an F1 student nurse apply for H1B? Mark, I think this question is for you.
Yes, Shola, no? Hi, Shola. Um, j- the reason why we sponsor nurses for green cards is because generally nurses are not eligible for H1 visas. Um, I don't want to go into the details of that, but generally, as I'm saying, it's generally there are exceptional circumstances where a nurse can come in on an H1, but uh, in almost all instances they're not. So that's why we go to the green card process.
And I think it's for the best if there is a nurse who's on F1 visa, and if she would like to do anything, convert her status, it should rather be to EB3. So we do the adjustment of status, along with we also file for the employment authorization document. So once we have done the adjustment of status, you do not have to maintain your status. However, if your priority date does not become current, then our suggestion for these nurses who have exhausted their OPT would be to enroll themselves for a program that helps them maintain their F1 status. That would be the wise approach for now, but things gonna change soon, as far as I understand. So uh, that's that. But that's a really good question, Shola. And I would also like to tell each and every one of you that the recruiters from Greenstaff Medical will also get in touch with you to do a one-on-one, because obviously we're dealing with USCIS and there's going to be cases which would be very unique to each and every one. So we do have a thing here which we say that we deal with every case one-on-one basis. So you will all receive calls and texts from our recruiters, and also emails. So I see some more questions here. It after passing the NCLEX that one can register for your program. So if the nurses are outside of the US, yes, if you pass the NCLEX, it's fantastic. You can just let us know, send us an email, or even if you have not passed your NCLEX, just still get in touch with us. Our recruiters will send you some study material, the links to apply for NCLEX. They can also help you find the nearest NCLEX center, give you a few options where all you can travel to do your NCLEX. I think we can get involved even from the very start. I see another question from Manpreet. During the EB3 visa, can the client travel back to country? That's a Mark question.
Yes, Manpreet. This question, well, it depends. It depends on what stage you are on that EB3 process. Uh, it depends on what what status you have originally while the EB3 process is going on. So yes, you may be able to that, but depending on a lot of factors. Yeah. So that's the answer to your question. It's hard to there's no one answer to that. It really depends on your status and where you are in the process.
Thank you, Mark. And I see that there is a nurse who's having trouble hearing us. So I'm just going to let her know that this session is also getting recorded, and it will be also on Facebook. It will also be on Facebook. Okay. We have some more questions. Yeah.
So Raj, there's one more question about recruitment in Columbus, Ohio for F1 graduates.
Sure, Ohio. We do have some new job openings. Ohio. I guess I do not have the file open up on my screen because I'm displaying this PPT, but the recruiters will get in touch with you and they'll talk about all the job openings that we have around Ohio or in Ohio for that matter. We do have some clients in the line who will be joining Greenstaff Medical as well very soon. And we do have Ohio. Pretty much we have the Eastern Coast is pretty much all covered. So if we do not have job openings in Ohio, we will very soon. So the recruiters will get in touch and they'll talk about the job openings in Ohio. Yeah, I see that question now.
So Raj, what is the most frequently asked questions that you normally get?
All right, that's a good one. I'll answer. I'll talk about that question before I would like to address this question that we have here. So Abdullah says, why do you consider the bed capacity of the facility a nurse works in during recruitment? Interesting question. So that's not a criteria or prerequisite for us, but we just want to understand what kind of hospital you have worked in, what kind of work environment you have already worked in, because if you have only worked with a hospital which has like very low bed capacity versus a hospital which has like 800 or 900 beds, there's a huge difference. And then most of the hospitals that we work with in the US, they're like big hospitals, at least more than 100 beds, I would say. So that's not a criteria, but you might have had such conversations with the recruiter, I guess, Abdullah. I'm not sure if I answered the question, but do let me know in the chat. How can I hear this meeting? That is an interesting question. I wouldn't know answer to that. Like maybe check the audio. Marvin says if NCLEX California has been passed in 2007 but didn't get the license and it was not endorsed and visa screen is expired in 2013, can the license be endorsed to another state or another NCLEX is needed? Thanks. So that's a very interesting question. And a lot of our nurses, I have dealt with scenarios like this in the past as well. A lot of our nurses did pass their NCLEX from California Board of Nursing. And one interesting thing is that they do not give you the license unless you have your social security number. And we were able to endorse the license to another state. But I'm talking about like that was back in 2020, 2021, I think. We were able to endorse the license from California, even if they did not give you the license. But as long as you're past the NCLEX, we can still get in touch with the Board of Nursing where we want to endorse your license to. And yeah, you do not have to do your NCLEX again. That's universal. You only have to do it once. And if the visa screen is expired, so it's valid for 5 years. And if it's expired, you can just pay a fee to CGFNS and it's a much smoother process. You would get your visa screen within 2 months. It would not take a lot of time. Like at times it could take 4 to 5 years. But if it's expired by 2011, sorry, is it 2013? Give me 1 minute. So if your visa screen is expired, just log into CGFNS and just you will have an option to renew. Click on renew, you'll have to pay a fee again, and it will be renewed. We do work with diploma nurses. We don't really discriminate between nurses having diplomas, associate degree, or bachelor's degree, or master's degree for the matter. It could be a factor during your promotion, maybe with the clients. But yeah, we work with nurses who have got diploma in nursing, associate's degree, or bachelor's or master's, or even PhD holders. All right, so now we do have some time. So most frequently asked question. That's a tricky one, Kasim, but I have got questions like the license endorsement question. That's a lot of question that we get. Can I sponsor my family? That's another question. So we do sponsor your close family members. So any nurse who's older than 21 years old, they can sponsor their spouse and children. But I do get a lot of complex questions like, can I sponsor my parents? But Mark, correct me if I'm wrong. They can only sponsor their parents if they're under 21 years old. Is that something, or am I making it up?
Sorry, no. You can only sponsor your parents once you are already a U.S. citizen.
Okay.
Okay.
So
So if you
can't.
come in on a green card visa, you can only bring your spouse and your children under 21.
Got it. Yeah, I got it mixed up.
So,
Okay,
but you
thanks
can
for the
after you get
clarification.
the green card, you can be a citizen after 5 years.
Oh,
So
yes.
that then you can sponsor your parents.
All right. Thank you for the clarification, Mark. We've got another question. Do you need verification letters from my nursing council for me to get a job? So here's an interesting part. That's where CGFNS comes into the picture. They're going to do all of that for us. They give you your visa screen certificate and you're all sorted to work in the US. We do not need to do any verification. CGFNS will be the authority that'll be doing that for us. So as long as you can get the visa screen certificate, they have their ways to verify your letters and everything. Even if your colleges are closed, they can still find a way to, verify the documents and your nursing documents and all of that stuff. So I hope that answers your question, Lillian. Is another IELTS needed to apply for the renewal of visa screen, which is already expired in 2013? Yes, your IELTS has a expiry of 2 years. So it's only valid for 2 years. And after 2 years, you have to do IELTS again in case if your visa screen was expired. So the answer would be yes, there would be another IELTS. But my suggestion would be go for PTE. It's a new thing in town and, it's fairly much better. Just my recommendation, but you might still want to do some research. Is there age limit for the recruitment process? All right. So I don't think there is. We do not discriminate on the basis of age, and either so our clients don't do that either. So I don't think there's a age limit, but yeah, is visa screen needed by F1 graduates? So you don't need visa screen right away. We can sponsor, we can do the adjustment of status, but it's always good to have visa screen. So whenever you get time, apply for the visa screen certificate, CGFNS. Is that right, Mark? Or what should be the right answer for this question?
Well,
For F1s.
yeah, for F1 students, if you graduated in the US, you still need a visa screen. So the rule is all international nurses need a
Mhm.
visa screen. But for those who graduated in the US, you have a streamlined procedure. You can get your visa screen much faster than those who have graduated from outside. Okay, and yes, you would need them, even if at times the USCIS would not ask for that, but it would be required in some uh, steps there. Like for example, in the uh, state license application, if we need some endorsements, they might be needing the visa screen. And also, if it entails your application entails an or requires a license which you don't have yet, then that visa screen might become necessary. So yeah, you will be needing that somewhere, and it's always as Suraj said, even if it's not asked during the process, it's better for you to have that
Yes,
visa
just to
screen.
be on the safer side so that you
Yes.
don't have that worry that someday someone will ask you for the visa screen. Just have that handy. That's always good. Just apply for it and we'll do the rest of the documentation for you. Not a problem. But yeah, it's a streamlined process. You get your visa screen within it does not take a lot of time to like other nurses who graduated from outside of the US. Do you accept certificate nurses? I'm not sure what that means. Linda, can you explain that question? As long as you have NCLEX, I think that's the only criteria. And you're not from India and mainland China. I guess we're all good. Mark?
Serge, if I may say something
Mhm,
about that.
mhm.
Yes, well, we shouldn't be discriminating when it comes to the diploma or the degree. However, for USCIS purposes, the USCIS requires a certain um, degree or equivalency because in the US, at least an associate's degree is necessary for an RN to have a license to be able to work. So you must have at least that associate's degree or the equivalent of that in the US. So certificate nurses, it really depends. If this certificate complies with the equivalency requirement, then yes. But if not, then we cannot petition, we cannot sponsor you for um, green cards.
Oh, okay, got it. So that's what certificate nurses mean. Okay, thank you, Mark, for that clarification. Uh, I guess we'll take one or two more questions, and then if some candidates have missed their questions, nothing to worry about. Our recruiters will get in touch with you, and that will be a personalized connect they'll make with you, and they'll discuss all the scenario with you one on case by case basis. And if your scenario you think is much more complicated, we can even get Mark on the call and discuss the same. He usually helps us with the complex scenarios. Linda Offery says, please do you offer NCLEX sponsorship for international nurses? So Linda, as I explained earlier, we can do that, but we are not doing that at the moment because some of the nurses, they could not pass the NCLEX in the first go. And that does not look good for the agency, if you know what I mean. So we want our nurses to really work hard to pass the NCLEX in the first go. But I can assure you that once you have passed the NCLEX and once you have successfully got the offer, and once you come to the US on your green card, we will reimburse you for your NCLEX. The any expenses that you've done in order to get to the US, like NCLEX, IELTS, visa screen, all of those documentation processes will reimburse you for all that. Okay. All right. I think it's about time. Questions and answers are done. I wanted you guys to please have a look at our social media channels. We have got our Facebook page, Greenstaff International. We are also on LinkedIn. You can follow us on LinkedIn for daily updates and stuff. We do give shout outs to our nurses. We do celebrate the hero of the month, wish them happy birthdays. If they have completed their work anniversary, that's going to be there on LinkedIn. You will see a lot of nurses holding their green cards and all of that stuff. So LinkedIn, Greenstaff Medical US International, you can find us there. Instagram handle, that will be Greenstaff US International. The website would be www.greenstaffinternational.com. Do check it out. We do have some beautiful testimonials. They'll just give you goosebumps. Nurses who have got their green cards, they're very excited and they've wrote a lot of good stuff about Greenstaff and the recruiters. So you might want to check that out. And I think this session was great. Austin, do you want to jump in?
No, I think everything was covered. Thank you, everybody that took the time to join us tonight or this morning, wherever you are in the world. We look forward to working with you in the near future. And thank you so much to Siraj, Kim, and Mark for your time and expertise and helping getting everybody started with the American dream.
All right. Thank you so much for putting this all together so beautifully, Austin and Kasim. Goes without saying. And thank you so much for everyone who joined us today and who couldn't join us. We will still have your contact info, and please watch out for the emails from recruiters and get on a call with these guys. They'll be calling you in case if you miss their calls because of the weird timings. Just reply on the emails or calls. You will get both, and we are very excited to have you, and I'm looking forward to work with each one of you guys. Thank you, everyone, and I guess we'll sign off now.
Bye, everyone.
Bye,
Bye,
everyone.
everyone.
Bye.